back, everybody, to the ninth episode of the Boardwalk Park, and we are hitting this with a bang, finishing out the boardwalk in this episode. So, we have many things to do in this episode, but the first thing, as you can probably tell from the title, is making this boat ride. And in this boat ride, I just kind of kept it simple, keeping it near the back of the pier, just kind of looping it around. Maybe it's kind of like a figure eight, it just doesn't overlap. And then we have two trains, or not two trains, but two boats actually. And those two boats are going to be cycling throughout. And the original inspiration for this ride was actually a helicopter tour ride that would be located at a boardwalk. And I see this a lot of beaches where you see helicopters just flying over and back, and those are from helicopter tours that are going on from the boardwalk. So that was kind of inspired from that, but instead of touring the whole area, you just kind of sit down, relax, and take in the scenery around you, the beautiness of the lake or ocean that we're on, whatever your imagination calls it. And so now we are working on the station and queue. The queue kind of took me a few tries moving the station just so it fit right. And then we're going to work on the station right now, which is just going to be this decking and some poles. This is actually not the decking that we're going to use. We're going to use the one where you can advance move it, this one. So with this, I just wanted to keep it simple. Don't overdo it. It's still a boardwalk, so it can't be too crazy. And then we got the poles to make sure that it can rise and lower with the tide, make sure it doesn't break. And then we're gonna move on and do a couple more things in this park before we call it a day. So we are gonna do the staff room. And I said in the last episode that we have a staff room in the beginning of the park and in the end of the park. Not in the end, the middle of the park. So we need one in the end of the park. And that's what we're gonna do after we're done with this. So we are actually going to put that branching off of the Ferris wheel exit, and that actually fits very well right in that nook right next to it. And it actually saves space for what is going to come after that, which is going to be the stage. And I figured a low-key band can be playing there. Not too much money, but just to give some people something to listen to in their lines, something fun to watch, I guess. And then we are going to do during this stage creation, actually we are going to do a lot of work at night, and that will continue later on in the episode when we're going to do the last thing, which is make a fireworks show. And in this, I actually cut out a lot of it because it's actually kind of boring to watch, and it's just a bunch of let me move this, this needs to actually be timed this way. So it just works out that you guys can see the ending in episode 10, which would be weird, and we'll talk about that later on. But so, and then throughout the episode, we're gonna do some finishing touches. So a bunch of signs are gonna go in, like "Do not enter" and "Staff only," stuff like that, to make sure that people stay safe. But talking about what we're doing now, we are gonna start the staff building, and right here we are placing it right off the exit, as I said. And this building is actually gonna be way bigger than I originally anticipated it to be. Um, I went with the I kept the wood going just from the other side, just to kind of keep the a theme. But we got this building. It's actually looks like an L, or a reverse L actually. And then I wanted this to be kind of an overlapping roof here, so we chose that. And so it just kind of gives it a little bit more texture. And then we have to mess around with the plants and all that, which is kind of a pain in the butt, just trying to figure out where all the concrete needs to go. Originally, this is actually going to stay where this concrete is, but I try and fit more, and it just doesn't work. So that's basically it for this area. The next thing that we're going to do is the stage. I'll talk about more of that when we get there. All right, but talking about episode 10, I did mention this at the beginning of the episode, but I'm going to have this, and you might be wondering why, since this is the last building episode. But I actually want to do a live stream, and that is going to be where we just go through the park and experience it firsthand. It's going to be open and running, and so that means that people are going to be in here. There's going to be janitors and staff and all that good stuff. So we're gonna ride all of the rides that we've created, or at least all the track rides. some of the flat rides are kind of dizzying to watch, but we can do it. And so that's going to range from the Wild Mouse from way back when to the new boat ride that we created today. And then we can also do a walk through the park in Tegid Cam, just seeing it from the people's perspective. And there's actually a code that I want to try out for the go kart track where you can put in the code or the name, you have to change the name, and it will let you drive the car. So that'll be fun. But you guys can also talk to me and tell me what you guys want to see in this park that maybe you didn't get to see or you've seen just very briefly. So that is going to be fun. It is going to be April 27th. That is next Saturday, 3 o'clock Eastern Time. And so the schedule might be a little bit off. It could end up changing. Hopefully it doesn't, but if it does, there will be a regular roller coaster video that I started off with. That will be coming out. So if you don't see the live stream, at least you will see a roller coaster video, which is better than nothing. But I really do hope that I can do this next week. If not, I'll just postpone it and we can do it in 2 weeks or so, sometime. And so that might happen, it might not. So just keep your eyes peeled for that. Hopefully, you guys want to tune in for that. But back to what we were doing. We've started the lighting of the stage right now. We're just putting in a bunch of lights, yellows, reds, blues, greens, all that good stuff. So we're going to do that, and I'm going to send you guys to a music portion for a little while. I'll see you guys in a couple minutes. Okay, so we finished one of the touch-up points just now, which was filling in the underside of the pier, and we did that with these logs, just put them all the way down the pier. It was actually really simple, and we're just gonna finish out with some more cosmetical things, and as far as the stage go, it is done. We just put in some lights, as you can see through the time lapse that we already did, and then we put in the gate around it just to make sure that people could not get in and disturb the performer or staff members that are back there. And now we're gonna go through and put in a bunch of do not disturb signs, make sure that everything is all covered, just a little bit more cosmetical things. And now we're gonna work on this firework display. So it is kind of boring to watch, so I only made one part of it, which was the word geek, and that is probably the middle area. It is a 15-second show, so I will show this in the video, the time, not the time lapse, the live stream. So if you want to see that, make sure to check that out as well. And I put the sequencer right outside the little lobby area that we have. I figured it was a pretty good space instead of just hiding it. So that is where that is. And then you can just see the creation of this firework display. It's so tedious. You just move it, and then you got to watch it again and move it again and watch it again. It's just a back and forth process. That's why it's so boring. But we are coming to a close in the ninth episode of this Boardwalk Park. So hopefully you guys want to see the next episode in the live stream and tune in for that. But until then, thanks for watching and have a great day.